Hey guys, welcome to another awesome episode of AdventureQuest RC, where we are comparing these two amazing titans, the SCX10 II with the 2000-year Jeep Cherokee body and the Vaterra Ascender with a 1972 Chevrolet body with a honcho kit. These are both completely 100% bone stock, and when I mean bone stock, I mean absolutely straight out the box. I haven't done anything to either one of these as far as configuring is concerned. I haven't even adjusted the springs on the Vaterra. Now that said, understand when you see these, the Vaterra has the springs almost all the way tightened down. So it's not truly a completely fair comparison, and I will end up doing another comparison video, I'm sure, with a little more accurate adjustments to the Vaterra, so it'll be a fair fight. One thing off the bat I'm going to point out is what you're seeing right here. That bumper just keeps running into the rock. The bumpers are pretty cool if you want to put a winch on them, but unfortunately with the SCX10, they're just a little long. And so they end up getting hung up on everything. That's okay, they look pretty cool. And hey, in real life, you are always dragging your trailer hitch when you go wheeling, right? So that's kind of cool. The one thing that isn't stock, and I guess I should mention it because I have done one modification to the SCX10, which is simply to add a little bit of marine grease to the bearings and the servo. But in this case, that doesn't add any sort of functional difference whatsoever. Now, what I want you to take a look at right here, as the Ascender is coming over that rock right there, see how much easier it is for the Ascender to approach over that rock. The reason is because it has a much shorter wheelbase, and if you want to see them side by side, I have a video, an unboxing video of the Ascender where I compare the size differences between the SCX10 and the Ascender. It is quite a bit shorter. The tires are a bit different too. What you can't see right here, and the reason it's taking me so long to go up this hill, is because I know on the other side where the camera doesn't show you, that tire is completely off the ground. The whole way up there. It's a little scary, you don't want to roll off. Something I want to mention on this is I didn't really edit these videos too much. As far as the different attempts I took to crawl up a rock, you're going to see a lot of times where I just didn't quite make it the first time, and that was intentional. I want you guys to see how difficult it is for both these vehicles to make it up, and so you can see where one may fail, the other one may succeed. Easier. But even there, where that Vaterra just got hung up, it got hung up in the same spot where the Axial did. Even with its shorter wheelbase and its shorter bumpers, you're still gonna get hung up on occasion. That's okay, that's part of the fun, right? I don't know if you noticed it there, but one of the things I really like about the Ascender is I'm gonna say that I like it and I don't like it. The ESC. I like the fact, I like out of the box how the ESC is set up as far as the drag brake is concerned. It's not 100%, meaning it allows you to roll a little bit. And that's kind of cool. However, if you pay close attention, you will notice that the SCX10 seems to have a little smoother control most times. And that's because the speed controller is that AE5, and that's really smooth. Now, I've had an AE5 on a Wraith before, and that Wraith didn't really handle 3-cell too well. It kind of blew out when I threw some 3-cell on it. But that doesn't seem to be the case in this particular situation. I don't know if they ironed out the bugs or what, but I really like it the way it is currently. What I want you to pay attention to, especially with the Vaterra, is on occasion you'll notice that the tires take a while to fall. And that's simply because the weight of oil they put in the shocks is really thick. So that's one of the things I'm going to do shortly, is remove the oil, or at least put some very, very thin oil in the shocks. You kind of want to have loose shocks when you're crawling, or at least I do. And you can look at the differences between, of course, the Vaterra and the Axial here, and you'll notice that the Axial's tires just fall immediately when the rocks give way. That's exactly what you want. You don't want you'd rather have the tire fall than the body fall, right? So this is a really fun thing. This is just a kick coming out here, let me tell you. Just running both these rigs, awesome view, and the people, and they're just so capable. Oh my gosh, and it falls, oh! Well, I was going to say they're capable, but I don't know. Well, that's the beauty of having friends out, right? Is they get to help you and help push you over and recover your truck when it falls over. Watching this Vaterra with the servos, this is such a cool shot right here. Oh, that's cool. One of the things I wanted to mention is the servos between the two trucks. The Vaterra, out of the box, I'm not gonna lie, that servo's pretty non-stellar. Now, I haven't tested it to see if it's more waterproof than the SCX10 or not yet, but it's just a little slow and it seems to be a little weak. It may be more waterproof, maybe that's the reason, I don't know. Maybe they put their money into waterproofing it versus actual performance, but it's really sneaking slow servo. But then again, that I guess would make it a little more scale, because I don't know who of you have been wheeling before, but you can't exactly flip the wheels from the right to the left in the matter of a half a second. It takes a second or two for it to actually turn from left to right as you're spinning that wheel over. So maybe that's good. If you want more scale and realism, then I guess the Vaterra Ascender has that locked down. So this hill coming up that you're about to see, it is incredibly steep. So much so, I'm still, even at this moment, surprised to watch these things go up this, having been there myself. And if you're in the Washington area, in the Anacortes area specifically, stop by on Cap Sante. It is the most amazing place to go crawling. Oh man. As you can tell, this is extremely steep. I do like the tires on the Ascender though. They seem to have a lot of real good grip. Both the tires on the SCX10 and the Ascender have some really good flex to go around the rocks, but for some reason the Ascender seem to have a little better grip. And I don't know if that's flex or more specifically, I think it's the tread pattern just happens to lock onto the rocks a little better. Oh man, this is so close. Now, does that count as a win because it made it to the top? Because technically, the tires are at the top, right? So, does that mean it went there? Or does it not count? I don't know, you tell me. That's pretty dang close. That's the top, right? Did it win? Maybe? No! So the Ascender failed on its first attempt up. Of course, you saw a lot of different attempts to get to the top, but once it got to the top, it did not succeed very well. So sad for the Ascender. This is exciting. So you get to see the SCX10 here with all its glory and its long wheelbase. A little bump here to go. Do it. Boom. There you go. So if you notice, both trucks would spin the wheels going up on this rock here coming up. Oh, look at that Chevy in the background. Isn't that just a cool shot? Jeep in the foreground, Chevy in the background. Oh, that's so cool. So beautiful out here. The leaves are just about to drop and all turning colors. Oh, it's so beautiful. What an awesome hot day. Okay, here you go. So now pay attention to the wheel slippage here. Now again, both slipped. Just seems to be that the SCX10 has a little less grip on these rocks. But maybe that's a positive thing because it doesn't want to roll over as much. Because it can't get the grip in the back. Now notice here the wheelbase differences. I tried to pick the closest line I could between the two when I ran them both up here so that you can actually get a better representation of how each vehicle does going up the rock. but pay attention specifically to where the front and rear tires are in relation to the rock holes or the cracks. Because right here in this Jeep, you have basically the rear and the front tires are inside those rock crevices, and it makes it really difficult to jump out of there. Whereas with the Vaterra, you'll have the similar shot here in a few moments. I attempted again. The wheelbase is so much shorter that one axle will get into a hole, bump out, then the next axle will get into a hole and bump out. And it seems to make for an easier transition, so both don't have to do it at the exact same time. That said, the reverse is true, right? So both are just awesome crawling rigs. You know, it used to be that if you didn't want to modify your rig at all out of the box, it was just the choice to pick the Vaterra Ascender, because out of the box it was just configured better, just flat out. It was a better rig out of the box. Now that's changed, and again, wheelbase helps right here, having a longer wheelbase. You'll see in a minute what I mean by that. Now, one thing to mention here is, although I love the body on this Jeep, I love the old Cherokees. I've had a couple, I have friends who have a couple, my uncle still has one and goes wheeling with it. I love these old Cherokees. But in this particular body, even though it's awesomely scaled, those mirrors get hung up on everything. Actually here it doesn't seem to get hung up too badly, but you will notice that the mirrors do get hung up on everything. The mirrors, trailer hitch, which I've since broken off if you haven't noticed, and where the winch mounts up. But the Vaterra here has an awesome approach to departure angle. It rarely gets hung up on anything. And for some reason it just really likes to roll over. I think that might have to do with the wheelbase. You guys, let me know your thoughts. Drop your thoughts on the comment box below as to why you think the Vaterra seems to want to roll over more than the SCX10. Now, interestingly, the Ascender has the battery placement a little lower. It sits right on the axle. Well, at least the front of it sits on the axle. Of course, the whole battery couldn't sit there. And the SCX10 has the battery tilted on its side, so the center of gravity is much higher on the SCX10. But for some reason, when you're crawling up a rock face, the SCX10 seems to have a better time of it concerning not flipping over. And I really think that does have to do with the wheelbase, but either one of these is just, it's a hoot. Flip over, don't flip over, have traction, don't have traction. Either one, out of the boxes are both great trucks. Now, what I am interested to do is to find out what both of these would be like with different tires, or with the same tires specifically. That would be cool. Oh man, so close to coming to the top there. Did you see that? Oh, look at that view. The Jeep up there. I made it. I am your king. You must come to me, little truck. Just taunting him. It's difficult. It's kind of scary when you get so close to the top, having to back down a little bit to get a better angle, but it's all about throttle control, guys. It's just being slow, taking your time, calculating, figuring out where your tires need to be, and just like that, you get a better approach angle, and you're able to make it all the way up to the top. Before, when I didn't make it up, that was me being a little impatient, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now here is the negative side effects to having a little shorter wheelbase. Notice how that tire drops in a little too soon before the front can actually come back around. Well, that just makes it want to roll over. So now I'm just gonna have to work my way over to try to get that left back tire up on the rocks so that I don't roll over. What I don't want to do when you're at a crevice like this in a crack, you want to get your left and your right tires to straddle the crack. You don't want to get one of your tires drop down in. Once you do, it's pretty much all over. You can kind of get it to work sometimes, but you're scratching the body and it's just not very realistic. It's not very fun. So do the best you can to get both tires to straddle that crack. And it'll take a little time, but that's part of the fun about having a scale truck is trying to make it as the most realistic as possible. Oh, look at that. So cool. you know, coming in here on this turn here, I thought this shorter wheelbase was gonna be the ticket to get out of here on a one try, but apparently it was not the case, unfortunately. That's okay though, we can still make this work, I'm pretty sure. Different angles, that's scary, the tires almost dropped down to that crack there. Can you imagine being inside one of these rigs right now? How bumpy that would be. Hopefully you don't have any coffee, or else it would go all over your lap. Notice how the right tire kept coming up and down as I was trying to go through this. What I'm doing is, you notice, is when it lifts up like that, it's trying to roll over. So I turn the wheels to the left and then back up a little bit, and that'll help set that wheel back down. Sometimes when you're stuck or pinched, that's the best way, is to turn your tires the opposite direction you're going and back up, and that'll force the high side to come down. And here you can't really see it all that well, so I'll definitely have to take another shot, make another video teaching you how to do that more effectively. This is so cool. Oh, and there's so many people that come up to you and just talk to you about your trucks. What is that? That is so cool. And an infamous question that I get from everybody. Is that gasoline? Oh, they don't know any better. How would they know? I mean, you go and you look at a car that's gas or electric anymore, they're both quiet. So I understand their confusion, but I get that so much. These are both electric, just in case you are one of those people asking me the question. They're both electric. Okay, what I'm about to do here is I want to get the tires wet, because we've seen what they can do with the tires dry, but what happens when they get wet? And then you get dust and dirt and debris on them, makes them all slippery. Alright, I got some water going on here. Fantastic. Tell you what, having these RC cars, this is dangerous because it makes me want to go buy a Jeep, to be perfectly honest. I'm gonna go wheeling in real life now. I missed that. That is so much fun. But this is a lot cheaper and safer. Hey, you're not gonna roll off a cliff. Well, I don't know. I've gotten some pretty close calls, almost falling down the cliff and not paying attention. So, if you are in a situation where you're close to the edge, pay attention. And this is so much steeper and sketchier than it looks. It just looks like, oh, you're coming up on this little hill. What's the big deal? Oh. That's a tough little corner right there, believe it or not. Try to see if I can get the slip. Thought that rock would be a little slippier than it was, but apparently it was pretty grippy. So, find a spot coming up here, almost there. Alright, this rock right here. Oh my goodness, it looks so easy, doesn't it? Just crawl up the rock. Derek, what's your problem? Get up there. Not a big deal. Oh. It is a little trickier than it looks. Got a little crack in there, and it's steeper, and plus the tires are wet. Now, pretty soon though, I mean, it was a warm day when I was filming this, and so the tires do dry off here in a moment, but it is a little bit tricky. Oh, check this out. This is so cool. Turn, throttle, turn, throttle, turn, throttle. Woohoo! Oh, that's so much fun being able to flip your truck over without actually getting over there and picking it up. Hey, if you guys want to check out how to do that, I actually have a video that I'll put in the description box below that you can look at, where it teaches you how to turn your vehicle over if you have happened to roll it over and you don't want to go pick it up. Now, that is honestly the epitome of laziness, but it's really cool to go do it. So check out the video and let me know what you think. It's fun. All of this is so much fun. And hey, really, if you think about it, there's a lot of physics involved. RC cars offer a great opportunity to teach people. Teach people about mechanics, teach people about physics, especially teach kids about the importance of maintenance. There's a lot of valuable lessons to be learned with RC cars, for sure. Alright. Woo! The Jeep made it to the top! Finally! Nah, I honestly don't think the tires were wet by the time I made it up there, but hey, that was the intent anyway. Now let's see how this 1972 Chevrolet truck, with what I would like to think is an awesomely huge 454 big block underneath the hood. With ridiculous tiny little gears, it's really slow. One thing to note, I didn't really point it out in the unboxing video of the Ascender though, it doesn't really come with a whole lot of extra things. Axial's really famous for throwing in a lot of extra parts, so extra drive lines, extra, you know, if your vehicle happens to have dudes, they usually throw extra helmets in there. Axial throws a lot of really cool extra parts in. Vaterra doesn't seem to do that so much. And that's okay. It's still a pretty cool rig. Look at that. No dragging anything there. Those approach angles are fantastic. Duck the tires mud a little bit. And hey, if you guys are interested in learning more about RC or crawling or bashing, drop a comment in the box below. I'd be more than happy to talk with you about it, get a conversation going within me and other people in the community. And if you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer. We love seeing new people get involved in this hobby. It is a fantastic hobby to get involved with for sure. I like crawlers, I like bashing, I like racing, I like it all. But crawling, well, there's something special about it for sure. Definitely have to have patience. I had someone ask me, which truck would you get? What one would you recommend for me? Oh man, it is so difficult. There's so many cool ones out there. In between the two of these even, that's a tough choice. I mean, you can get more scale rigs, you know, if you want to get a Trail Finder 2 or even a Sawback. Those are pretty cool rigs. They're more scale, so they're not going to be as capable. These are great beginner rigs. Each person has their own opinion, right? But I do like these two vehicles as a beginner crawler for sure. Which one to pick though? I mean, do you buy the Ascender or do you buy the SCX10 too? Oh my goodness, it's such a good decision. Either one. Ah man, it really just depends on what you want to do with it. I would say the question that came about before the 2 came out was, okay, which one do you get? Because the SCX10 has more upgrades available, but the Vaterra is better out of the box. So now they're both really good out of the box, but the same thing applies, which is that the SCX10-2, the Axial will always have, or at least now they have, a lot more options available for upgrades. So if you want to upgrade your rig a lot, I would definitely go with the SCX10. If you're going to leave it bone stock, I would say they're kind of both an equal choice. It's really going to be more preference on bodies than anything else, in my opinion. Maybe it's a transmitter difference. I don't know. They're both pretty cool. So which one to choose? I don't know. They're both awesome rigs. If I had to do this all over again, I honestly don't know which one I would choose. I would probably stick with the Axial, to be perfectly honest, just because it has more parts available. But either choice is going to be wonderful. Either choice is going to be fun, for sure. All I know, guys, is get outside, go enjoy some RCN. If you have any questions, leave those questions in the comment box below and I will get back to you. Otherwise, go out and have fun.